Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Honey Brook Board of Supervisors meeting for March. All rise for pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we get started, we had a change to the reorg meeting minutes last time, and it was changed at a motion by Lou Wortley, seconded by John McHugh, to elect John McHugh vice chairman of the board. All in favor, with Joe Fenstermacher abstaining. We just need a reason for your abstaining for the language. Well, we need a reason.
Excuse me, Lou, can we make sure the microphones are working right?
I'm sorry, what?
Coming through loud and clear. Hey.
Can you hear me, Paul? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good, thank you.
All right, consent agenda. So I hear a motion to draft and sign a letter of intent for the Westchester County Council of Governments.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. That brings us to the Chester County Conservation District. Ms. Chadi? Not you? Okay, then that brings us to PennVest.
Yes, if the board please, my name is George Coke. I'm an attorney for TMAG. TMAG is the technical consultant on the PennVest project. The first four of them are really historical in nature. They were January documents that led to a, I'll call it a work session type meeting that the supervisors had with the applicant and the district and TMAG. The fifth document is from the State Veterinarian, Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, which I believe many people are familiar with. I saw it on the back table. Document 6 is a TMAG compost facilities plan. So I wanted that in the packet. And the latest thing that was sent to the township yesterday, you may be aware, is a letter from the attorney for the Conservation District, Attorney Twardowski, and he restates the request for the letter of support. And in fact, the last page in the set of documentation is a form letter of support that we would hope the township would be willing to have issued this evening. Or a motion made for the issuance of such a letter. With me tonight, I'm going to have Ted Monkavich review the proposal from TMAG. Dave Keener is also here to address an update on stormwater issues and issues pertaining to DEP and the NPDES permit that's part of this project. The theme that's going to run through the presentation, I think, is we have an agricultural use, proposed agricultural building to.
Sir, would you mind, I'm not trying to, would you please stand by, I can't hear you.
So it would be possible, there's a lot of feedback, I'm not sure if folks have a difficulty hearing, but
I'll try to speak up.
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you very much.
A theme that I think that has run through this application and that I think will continue to do so is that this is a agricultural use, a proposed agricultural structure, if you will, in an agricultural zoning district of the township, and it's an existing facility permitted by the Department of Agriculture. So those facts lead us to conclude that it makes sense for this use and this project to go forward, and we're hopeful for the township's concurrence. With that, I'd turn it over to Mr. Devon Pavich to review the latest on the application.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us here. My name is Jed Monkavich from TMAG Incorporated. I'm one of the consultants on the project here. I'm consultants on the Emmanuel Solstice Composting Facility project, which is a project that we were looking to get funded through PennVest, fund that will be sponsored through the Chester County Conservation District, and TMAG is providing the technical consulting. So, why is there a need for a site like this? Not the too far distant past, some regulatory changes came about that basically prohibited the rendering of mature cattle. As a result, composting is the recommended method by the Pennsylvania State Conservation Commission and the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture to deal with these types of animals. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them now.
How will this operation compare to the operations that are taking in terms of size and volume of activity?
It will be, as far as the volume of material that will be processed at this, that will be composted at the site, it's going to be very similar, almost identical. Is that correct, Dave? All the planning that we're utilizing is based off of basically what their production is now.
What is that?
It's right around 960 tons of finished compost.
How many animals are we composting?
Depends on the size.
Yeah, it depends on the size of the animal.
Let's say a cow, a 900-pound cow. How many are they composting per week or month or year, whatever?
But the answer is indeed hard to come up with because it's variable based on the weather this time of year.
What's their log stack?
Well, I'll get to that. This time of year when the weather is, shall I say, not stressing animals, I would think your mortality rates are lower if you get into the higher. Also, this time of year we haven't had a lot of snow and ice, so you don't have cows falling down that way. If you get into the hotter and more stressful times of the summertime, you'll have increased mortality. So there's a cyclical aspect to it throughout the year. And
What would the average be?
the answer to that question is usually, the plan is, it seems to be about 1,000, 1,500 animals a year. variable. It could be plus or minus from that number.
At this facility, that many at this single facility?
This 2 acre
Well, it's been
facility.
operating for 2.5 years, and that's been the capacity. I mean,
Is that 900 tons a year?
That's, these are based off of actual records. The figures that we're using in the planning right now are based off of actual
I
records.
think that shows the importance of this facility, that there are a lot of dairy cows in this area. And as I said at the last township meeting, it's a vital part of Pennsylvania's economy. And I think having people in this community who are willing to deal with, shall I say, an unglorious component of dairy, but yet it is a reality of dairy, to have someone like Emmanuel Stoltzfus and the surrounding community of farmers willing to support Emmanuel and Ira with their efforts to provide a very valuable service to the agricultural community is very important. I also think they're providing a very valuable service to the larger community in that we are, as Jed pointed out, facility allows for efficiency and consolidation of composting activities.
Is there an operation like this in Lancaster County?
The commercial basis, he's talking about commercial.
I haven't done that kind of research. Is that relevant to this discussion?
Yes, it is, because I don't want us to be the Lanchester of dead animals. I don't want to be involved in Lancaster County, York County, etc.
My understanding is that the animals come from Chester County, Lebanon, and Lancaster County.
I have a question. Who are the principal owners of this? Because I'm quite confused of the roles everyone is playing. Is Emmanuel Stoltzfus going to be the owner of the business? Or is he just a
This is
landlord?
Emmanuel Stoltzfus Farm. It will be Emmanuel Stoltzfus composting facility.
He'll own the business. So then what will Mr. Byler's
He will
position
be
be?
an employee.
I'm sorry?
He will be an employee.
Question, please.
Sure.
Is this a money-making operation, Lou?
I have no idea.
And does anybody know this? Is anybody here from the operation?
I don't think this question has anything to do with what we're here for tonight. We're here to ask if the improvements we want to make after we've had complaints from the township and other township officials basically about the operation. We want to improve the site so it's crystal clear. We're here to ask if our improvements will meet your water quality requirements, and that's all. All these other questions are irrelevant. We've been running the operation 2.5 years with no thanks from anybody. No thanks from anybody. All they've done is struggle from people, officials, government.
It's a concern, many people in the community that the work violation. You went into a business and
I've never
there were
seen-
mistakes, and everybody agrees that, some people should have a second chance. That's not the issue. The issue is we just want to ensure that it is understood what was and what will be.
If someone would let us operate this facility, we will continue as we have for 2.5 years. We will provide this service to the surrounding community. And we would love to run a business, but we're handicapped by all these people are going to stop us. And we just like to be set free to do what we need to do. We've had no.
Gentlemen, I'm John Henry, I'm the Assistant Director at Pennsylvania DEP. Best way to deal with this issue and to remove the pollution potential is to put it on the roof. Everybody tells us that's the best management practice for this type of facility. Put it on the roof, avoid rain getting on it, changing the temperatures, having runoff running off the site, potentially going to the creek. So this proposed project that they're requesting PennVest PennVest support for will hopefully eliminate all of our concerns, provide a good composting product, and be able to serve the agricultural community around here for years to come. Questions?
I have a question to you, sir. Sure. Being the authority of the DEP, if this site would be just null and void, no more, being a small farmer, what should we do with our dead animals then?
Well,
Where do they go?
if this falls through, I think agriculture needs to address that problem. That's a problem that kind of gets forced on DEP to deal with the potential pollution issues. But as we did with, I think, manure issues years ago, and coming up with manure management plans and nutrient management plans, we're trying to use the same approach to deal with this kind of facility. And that's how we would approach it if
So basically, my understanding of it then would be 6% mortality rate, which somebody had brought up. If every dairy farm in the Honey Brook area says it has 100 dairy cattle, that would be 6 cattle per year dying that has no place to go except in the fence rows, which an average farm in Honey Brook is 80 acres, so 6 cows leaching dead funk all over the whole district of Honey Brook.
that's the worst case scenario. It would be a nightmare for agriculture. It would be a nightmare for us because they'd be all over the place, and it's just not something we can deal with. No one has to stay up to deal with that kind of situation. This puts it all in one spot. Agriculture can keep an eye on it. We can keep an eye on it. Conservation District can keep an eye on it.
And that's federally regulated also, is that correct?
Having this type of an outlet is certainly consistent with your efforts to preserve farms in the community.
I spoke to Craig Williams at Penn State, and he said a properly run facility is of great benefit to the farming community and the overall community as well.
Mr. Kennedy, when you raised your concerns, or the gentleman that you sent out raised your concerns, did you guys ever do water quality tests to see if there was any contamination coming from that site to the headwaters?
We drew samples from the impoundment just to get a sense of what it contained, and it's pretty high organic waste. We also did a stream survey of up and downstream from the facility. We have not had any evidence of deterioration because of the facility.
Can you tell us exactly what this grant, I've had at least a dozen people ask me, you know, what is this grant? There's confusion as to what this grant is.
My name is Chris Serna from Conservation District. The PennVest grant typically was not available for any type of projects on private property. It was typically available for municipalities, for stormwater, municipal waste projects. And in 2009, they kind of opened it up for non-point source pollution, which could be agricultural runoff, stormwater runoff, and so on and so forth. And they also had it set the governance of it. The conservation districts would be eligible to apply for their loans. There's 2 types of loans. One is a loan that would be at some type of low interest rate that would be decided at the time of awardance, and it depends on like a income to debt ratio. And then they look at the conservation district's finances. I know that quite doesn't make sense why they're not looking at the property owner where the project would be at, but at this time, the way the legislation says, they look at the conservation district's finances. The other type of loan is
an obligation to pay this loan.
Excuse me?
You don't have an obligation to pay the loan, do you?
The second loan is a loan with 100% forgiveness. The Conservation District Board of Directors, when we first got into this PennVest opportunities in 2009, made the decision that as we went through the application process on various different projects, and we probably have 30 or 40 different projects right now that have been either through PennVest or going through PennVest, that if we were ever offered a loan that was at low interest rate, we would not accept it, because essentially we would be kind of a bank. We would be responsible long-term to make sure that the landowner, whoever paid us back, we were only accept principal forgiveness loans. The grant is for the construction.
Just for the construction,
Yes.
not the operation of the business?
No.
No what?
No, it's not for the operation of business.
The PennVest grant is just to get what you proposed up here up and running?
Correct.
Okay, and then it's forgiven?
Correct.
Okay. Anyway, let's get back to what we're here for tonight. I want to make sure that I understand what we're here for tonight. We're here at the request of Team Ag to issue 2 letters, one for an NPDES permit and one for the PennVest application. Is that correct? Well, what I do know is that the township is not prepared to write either letter because we weren't supplied with the materials we requested to make the determination whether you meet our requirements.
We fully intend to comply with the township stormwater management ordinance. We fully intend to obtain a building permit. We fully intend to obtain the EMS approvals that Mr. Monkavich spoke of.
Well, what are you looking for tonight?
Well, really, it would be a motion from this board to approve the issuance of a letter like that Mr. Twardowski wrote, which is a letter.
You got a letter saying what? That's what I meant. That's what I asked.
What you just read, basically. It says consistent with. It doesn't say, the letter doesn't say that all township reviews have been completed and every T has been crossed, every I has been dotted, every permit has been obtained. This is more like a threshold letter to show to PennVest that the township is behind this project.
About 6 months, it looks like, where the operation will be shut down. Now, if the number you said, 1,000 to 1,500 is correct, and is that correct, Mr. Bynum? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Really? You do that many a year, huh? That's a surprising number. So there's going to be 600 dead animals lying around, unless they got another place to take them. Where will they take those 600 dead animals?
Probably the same place they've been taking them for 200 years.
Oh, no. That's what we're trying to avoid, Mr. Good.
I just want to be asking, you're asking everyone to speculate on your question.
It is practice, and some farmers have done this with their own animals. They'll take them to the spot of their own property.
Take a hole.
Well, not that they hold, but set up compost. Some of them having compost.
Once again, what it seems to me is part of the plan would be, what are we going to do with these dead animals? Not just say somebody else's problem. If dead animals are a pollution problem, they need to be dealt with.
And if they call up the Mr. Stolfus and Mr. Byler for pickup, they'll be saying, sorry, we cannot accept, over this period of time. That would find alternative means. And what I heard right now, the only other place would be North Coventry, and I don't think they can handle the volume that this facility has been undertaken.
Thank you.
One thing nice about this is these folks have agreed to take Honey Brook Township animals for free. No charge to our farmers. We don't know, I haven't been able to find it, I don't know that John did, the actual number of farms or the actual number of cows that we have, so that we could get an accurate picture of how many will be going to this just from our own. And that's something I'd like to know, and I think a lot of folks would like to know.
Mr. Barlow, I do have a question. question. It was said earlier that you don't own the business anymore, is that correct?
I'm not sure what to say to that. I don't think that's important right now.
I think it is important right now.
I think what's important is that the DEP has approved these water protection plans, the Department of Ag has approved it, the Conservation District has approved it. And if you're really concerned about pollution, I think you would get on with this project instead of hee-hawing around and wasting time and money. If we want to discuss.
I mean, I'm not sure what you're for.
I'm talking about just common sense to do a project that will solve all the questions and problems that you have and everybody in this room. It's been approved by the Department of Ag, it's been approved by the Conservation District, it's been approved by the DEP.
What has been approved?
What are you holding off on?
I want to make sure that what you're doing out there isn't going to permanently affect Honey Brook Township. I don't want another Superfund site here. I don't want the people of Wilmington drinking polluted water, because that's where their water comes from. Okay? Now, you come in and you fight us on everything. You've never met with us. You don't keep logs on your business. You're down here asking us to
Trespass illegally, taking pictures and turning this into Senator Brubaker and cause this whole mess. If it wasn't for that, with the operating facility, we do not pollute the creek. John Kennedy has said we do not pollute the creek. I don't know what your concern is.
Let me
If
ask
you're
you
not
something.
concerned about pollution, get this one down the road and quit messing around.
Let's look at this. You dumped 140,000 gallons of material out of there on November 29th. That's equivalent to 24 milk trucks. You dumped that in one day. Are you trying to tell me that the ground absorbed all that in one day? And then 8 days later, you did the same thing, another 140,000 gallons. So in a 2-day period, you dumped the equivalent of 48 milk trucks onto the same spot of land. And I would ask DEP not to allow that anymore. The only thing DEP is requiring that you maintain a log and hand it into them. In December, you dumped another 100,000 gallons in one day. And then on the 21st, you dumped another 50,000 gallons. That kind of discharge cannot be absorbed into the ground.
The water's been checked at the river by the DEP and they have not found pollution. What are you worried about?
Okay. But again, you know, if taxpayers' money is going to be spent in the form of a grant on the property, then we have an obligation to make sure that it's the right site and the right place and the right operators. If you want to go and put your own money up, that's up to you, but I don't see you putting any of your own money up. You won't even tell us who owns the business. The business is licensed to you.
What about the money that you wasted on this expensive building that wasn't necessary?
This building wasn't necessary.
Taxpayers' money,
This building was necessary.
not this extravagance.
Wow, I don't consider this extravagant, but you're trying to get off the subject. You still won't tell us who owns that business out there.
No, I won't tell you that.
Of course you will. But yet you come here and you want us to sign off and give you $1 million bailout for the problem that you created on that creek. Without us looking at what you're proposing, because we have seen nothing except one PDF sheet of paper. And all we're asking for is give us the information so we can supply you with what you're requesting.
Talk to the Conservation District.
I'm sorry?
Talk to the Conservation District, they're in charge.
We talk to them. When we talk to Team Ag and we talk to Conservation, you're the only one that doesn't come in to talk to us.
Why should I talk to people who trespass on our property?
I never trespassed on anybody's
Why?
property.
Where'd you get the pictures at?
I was out there with Conservation, I was out there with not Team Ag, I was out there with the Agriculture Department, I was out there with DEP.
First words out of your mouth was, how can you help me shut this place down?
I don't know what my first words were. That's where the pictures were from, and I never trespassed on the property. The first time I stepped on that property, sign was completely left. It's as simple as that.
If you're interested in resolving this issue, then let's get on with it.
Provide us with the information.
We did go on with it, we said people that are. Come back, and if you're smart, you'll not pursue it further in this discussion. The lawyer's going to shoot yourself in the foot, so. Not helping your situation.
I think we spoke enough about it. Shall we move on? We don't have an agenda. Yes, we have end the meeting open forum. If anyone has anything to say, please approach the microphone.
You can even talk about anything that we've discussed so far? Okay. What I would like to say is on behalf
Would you say your name and address?
Stephanie Q, 40 Honey Brook Twp. I'm just saying, I think in speaking of the lady, I don't know if she's still doing that.
That was Dolly.
Oh, okay. That our concern is, if it's going to be run properly, I don't think we'll be a problem. Our concern is, it was not run properly. It's a massive project. It's a big ecological problem. I mean, I put organics on my lawn because I have well water. I have children that play there. I have dogs out there. I'm totally concerned about what's going down into the water in our aquifer. If we have guaranteed that it's going to run properly and benefit everybody, I think a lot of people, we don't have a problem with it. But it's a massive thing that was run wrong, with a lot of problems with it, and people have a lot of concerns about it. I think it's justified that we're drilling to find out how often it will be tested, and that every aspect of it is run properly. I mean, weeks could go by and the people that have this business could be running it and doing other things that we don't know about. Then maybe they're finding it or not, but the damage is already done. Okay? So I think it's, a big concern of the people in this area. Thank you very much.
My name's Dave Rogers, 415 Mount Pleasant Road, closest neighbor of the site. I just come here today to talk a little bit, it would be nice to see the township approve this, and then it will be governed by the DEP and all the proper authorities. Or, as a farmer, and speaking for many farmers in the room, we can just throw our shit in fence rows and contaminate all of Honey Brook with no government agencies, no regulatory commissions or anything. So to me, it seems like a pretty reasonable thought to approve this and to allow the grant to be everything regulated and governed by the government, and just have every farmer throw half a dozen animals around all Honey Brook and get in any creek bed anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
I'm Ruben Real, 182 Mount Pleasant Road, Honey Brook. And it seemed like we had a lot of concern tonight in here about money, taxpayers' money, where taxpayers' money is going. And as far as this grant was concerned, and it's kind of ironic that we have the Conservation District, we have the Department of Ag, and we have the DEP. They're all helping Emmanuel with the site, doing the inspection work on it. And they're all government agencies that we taxpayers are paying to do the job they're doing. And to question them with what they have approved seems like we're questioning our own judgment. Because we're paying them the tax money to do their job, and now we're all, or some of us, are second guessing their opinions. Thank you.
We're not really second guessing their opinions. What's happening is they're asking if the project conforms to our regulations in the township. And all we're asking for is for your plan, so we can see if it does conform.
I've seen the plan right there.
That's
You
just a
said
sketch.
you wrote in this direction, you should have been.
That's just a sketch. That has nothing to do with what the
It's
engineers.
still the whole plan in a box right there. I mean, I agree, you need sketches, you need the layout, you need the elevations, and the retention basin, you need the values, everything.
Right. Well, our
But what they've been
engineer,
asking for tonight, like the lawyer said, he's not asking for you guys to approve any project here. Right? You're not asking for approval of a project.
But they need information to approve it.
We're asking for a letter that says the plan, the proposed plan is consistent with.
township regulations.
Yes.
Yes.
Consistent.
And all we're
with not-
saying is what was given to us, as determined by our engineers, is sufficient. And we didn't wait till tonight to say it was insufficient. We've been in communication with you guys, saying, where's the information? And they're paying for it.
But is this every time, if they don't have a plan, in line, stamped by an engineer, perfect to the T, is this always going to be the issue here? I mean, he said, we're not asking for guys to be done in the DEP laws, as far as PennVest goes.
Yes, that's my position in TMAG's defense. I mean, they have been, you heard, they have been meeting with DEP, they've been giving tours of the Lancaster County facility that is of similar nature, which at least one of the supervisors took. So
All three.
very good, I stand corrected.
Only two.
Three.
Luke went on his own. Oh, you didn't get a
You
tour.
guys had
Didn't get a tour.
in person on the facility.
Yeah, I'm not the operators out there.
Okay.
All right, fair enough. I hear what you're saying, Mr. Worthy and others. Fair comment. I appreciate the comment from Mr. Reel. I mean, you know, we're going to provide the information and we'll be back on April 11th. I agree to leave it at that.
Lou, one last question. Is this presentation available to the public? Can we access it on the internet?
It's TMAGs, you have to talk to TMAG. If they want to give it to us, we can put it on the website, that's up to them.
Well, that would be neat if you could do that. That would really be neat. That would put that website to some good use. Sure would.
All right, we got some upcoming meetings. Zoning hearing board at 7:30 on the 19th, I believe that's Monday. Land preservation committee will be 6:30 on Tuesday. Planning commission, 22nd at 7 p.m. John will be a partner recreation.
We'll conduct the meeting, not sure.
Anybody's interested in park and recreation, show up March 29th at 7 o'clock. April 11th, our next board meeting,